What the fuck is good, y'all? And welcome back to the channel for another video. It's been like 2 weeks since I uploaded, or it will be probably like 2 weeks by the time this gets posted. And yeah, man, I've just been crazy fucking busy with Kill Tech and working in my other businesses and shit. But it's not an excuse. I'm back here. I'm gonna try to stay super consistent for y'all. I got some dope ass shit planned for April, so I'm gonna be bringing y'all along for all of that and get a couple banger videos out. I've been seeing a couple comments of people saying they want to hear my story and shit, my come up. How did I get to where I was at? Where did I come from? Shit like that. And also, like, all of my DMs are always like, Carson, what the fuck do you do? How do you do what you do? How are you around the people you're around? So today, the preface of the video is going to be how I went from $0 to making over 100K a month at 24. And yeah, instead of doing like a POV day in the life vlog all chopped up and shit, I'm just sitting in my office right now chilling, and I'm gonna walk y'all through the story. It's gonna be super raw, and I barely even talk to the homies about shit like this. I'm a pretty bottled up dude, which sometimes, can be bad. But yeah, like it definitely is a little bit nerve wracking talking to a camera about some of this shit. But I fuck with y'all, and I really want to work this year on, becoming more vulnerable behind the camera. So I'm gonna let y'all hear this shit. So to start out, my parents got divorced when I was 5 years old, and my mom left my dad and moved us to Maryland, which is where I spent most of my life. I lived in Maryland from like 5 years old till like 2 years ago, and I moved to Puerto Rico. And when I first moved to Maryland, it was hard, man. Growing up without a dad and shit. He didn't come back around into my life till I was like 11 or 12 years old. So a long fucking time. And a lot of promises in between then of, him coming back around, him supposed to pick me up, me waiting at the doorstep for hours and hours, crying my eyes out and shit, just wanting to see him. And yeah, that shit fucked me up. Also, my mom moving to a foreign land, she was obviously dating around, so a lot of different, like, random men, some of them really bad people, were coming, in and out of the house or whatever. And it also fucked me up too. I had, what some would call a rough childhood. I still think I'm extremely blessed compared to some other people's situations. There's always somebody that has it worse, but yeah, shit wasn't great. I wouldn't lie at all. And I was a super regular kid. Video games, soccer, football, basketball. I loved sneakers. I loved riding bikes, skateboard, snowboard, all types of badass shit like that. And yeah, jumping into high school, I smoked weed for the first time when I was like 14, so right before high school. And then by 15, I started selling weed. I was always like a entrepreneur. I was flipping shoes and shit and selling shit on eBay, like even in middle school, trading shoes, whatnot. And yeah, when I found out that you could, make money off weed and so many people smoked weed and liked to buy it, I was like, fuck it, why not? And a couple of my homies were doing that shit too. So yeah, I started selling weed, and pretty quickly, I played soccer in high school, but all my coaches started to find out, all my friends' parents, teachers, everybody in the school, like knew that I was selling drugs. And also my dad, who is who's been a drug addict since I was a little ass kid. That's what split my parents apart. A lot of people knew about him and shit just from him showing up to like my sporting games and shit, and my sister's shit like fucked up in public, and people associated that with me a lot too when I was younger, which is really fucked up to do to a kid. I was never ever a bad kid. I've always had the same heart that I have now and always will. I just needed a little bit of guidance. But yeah, I was, selling a decent amount of weed at the start of high school. I also was like, you can ask anybody that went to school with me. I had this like edible fucking bull run where I had these like fruity pebble cereal bars that were strong as a bitch. I used to get them from this old Asian lady. And yeah, even if you weren't a pothead or smoked weed, like, and you went to school with me, you probably tried one of those bitches, because I flooded the streets with them shits. Anyways, push come to shove, like a lot of my friends' parents and shit asked them to stop hanging out with me. My mom, we started fighting a fucking lot. She knew like I was doing bad shit, but she didn't know that I was, like a full-time trapper. But obviously, she catches on. I'm coming home high, walking around with a backpack everywhere I go. you know, and again, like just a lot of fighting, a lot of her resenting me and shit, and you know, me just being fried as fuck and being a dumbass pretty much. And when I think I was 16 or 17, I got arrested and I got caught with like a bunch of shit. I had a half pound of weed on me. I had scales. I had a cup to weigh shit. I had a bunch of baggies, a bunch of cash, and then the worst part was the edibles that I had. I had like a trash bag full of. You guys know what a nerd rope is, but yeah, it was nerd rope edibles. I want to say somewhere near like 150 to like 200 edibles, but the potency, like the wax, the THC percentage in them, it was like equivalent to a pound. So yeah, like my mom got a call from the station when I got locked up that night, and that was when she really found out, you know, like what I was doing and shit. So she was, by the time that she could finally come get me, she was fucking devastated. She, yeah, like was hating me, bro, crying her eyes out. I felt like the biggest piece of shit. And yeah, like people started coming around the house and shit. Everybody knew that I was doing that shit at this point. Everybody knew I had got arrested too. And you know, there's some fucking terrible people from the area I come from. The DMV is a great place. I still love it to death, but it's a dirty place too, for sure. There was people, you know, definitely trying to slime me out and shit. Weird people coming by the house, shit like that. And at this point, I'm living with, you know, my three sisters and my mom. So she started to, you know, like I was endangering my family doing what I was doing for sure. So when I had just turned 18, my mom told me, she's like, you got to get the fuck out. Like, you can't. Even after I got arrested and shit, you would have thought like I would be like, okay, let me lock in. Nope. Kept trapping. I chilled out for sure. Like I wasn't doing shit to the extent that I was doing, but yeah, I kept doing dumb shit. And yeah, she was like, you know, I can't do this anymore. We were fighting every day. I was skipping school to fucking just smoke and trap and play Fortnite and shit. And yeah, she was like, get the fuck out. I don't want you here anymore. So I'm 18, you know, very little money saved up, just some weed, and, you know, still have a year of school to finish. And yeah, like, talked to my dad for the first time in a minute, and I would just explain the situation. And my dad is, like I said, a drug addict, and he's done a lot of terrible things, and he has not been a good father to me at all, still to this day. Been quite the opposite of a father. But he's, you know, it's my dad, man, and I still love him to death, even through all the shit that he's put me through. And yeah, I reached out to him and just said, yeah, like mom kicked me out. I didn't have no proof of income to get like an apartment or anything, so I fucking hit him up and was like, yeah, like I need somewhere to go. And we ended up getting an apartment together, like 10 minutes from where I was living with my mom. And that was really fun at first. We were like smoking weed together and shit, which is crazy to be doing with your dad at 18 years old. But yeah, we were just, you know, doing dumb shit, ordering pizza, watching movies, fucking around. Like, again, I hadn't seen my dad in so long, bro. And we never really got to spend time together. So even though, you know, shit's been fucked up between us for my whole life, like, I really did cherish those moments. But there's also dark sides, like I said, you know, he's taking a lot of pills and shit. And when we weren't smoking weed and having fun and spending time together, he was very grumpy and aggressive, and he would sleep for days and days on end. And, you know, just like a mad and dark person. And that shit definitely rubbed off on me a bit when I was living with him. And I was still doing the same dumb shit, just playing Fortnite, trapping, trying to like fucking hang out with hoes and shit. Just lame ass shit, bro. Also, still like kind of flipping shoes and shit on the side, selling little dumb shit on eBay for money. I've always been like that, like since I ever could remember. It just dawned on me one day, like, fuck, man, here I am, living in an apartment with my junkie dad, you know, doing the same shit that I just got kicked out of my mom's house for. Like, I gotta, you know, lock in. And I ended up going and getting a job at Foot Locker, which, you know, going from being like a trapper. I literally had a fucking gold grill when I was 16, and, you know, like, was rocking drip and shit and jewelry, and fucking had some designer and had some fire ass J's. And yeah, that now I'm like wearing a fucking referee jersey to work. And that shit was like, it definitely was an embarrassing job. If you're working a Foot Locker, like you don't have to be embarrassed. But again, it was just kind of where like I came from, being my own boss and shit to now like getting bitched around for literally $10 an hour, and quickly like 6 or 7 months into working that job, I was like, fuck that. And I went back to trapping, but still just again, like on a small scale. Yeah, I started like at that point, like from working at Foot Locker, I got like kind of tapped in with the releases and shit. I've been in love with shoes literally my whole life, but this kind of brought me like a little bit closer. And I started, like flipping them a little bit more serious too. And then I kind of came to the same realization, a few months after quitting Foot Locker. Is like, fuck, bro, like I'm gonna get killed if I keep just, like selling drugs and shit outside of this apartment. Like, I'm not gonna go anywhere. This can't be my life. Like, I'm destined for more. So I go get in a dress shirt and I start applying for a bunch of bullshit jobs. I was trying to get a job in a restaurant because working in the mall, again, it was just fucking embarrassing. People would come and see me at work, like bitches and shit, and my homies. And I even remember, like, specifically, I have a message from somebody. I got in an argument with somebody in, like, some group chat. He said some shit, like, you're gonna be working at Foot Locker wearing that fucking referee jersey for the rest of your life. And I was just like, damn. Yeah, that definitely, like, push it into perspective for me. But I had to keep, the ball rolling. I was just trying to do shit legit, bro. I ended up getting a job at a yacht club, which I worked there for like a full year, and that was really good for me. That gave me a lot of structure. I really took that job seriously. I was literally just a busser. I cleaned up like 30 dishes. I'm sure you guys have seen clips of me like holding the fucking tray and throwing trash bags away. I used to have to pull the mats from the bar that people would walk on like all day long and spray them down and like clean sludge and like like I had to do some gross ass shit for that job, bro. Wearing a dress shirt with a bow tie, dress pants, and fucking dress shoes. I was working like 5, 6 days a week, 14, 12-hour shifts, 10-hour shifts. I was busting my ass, bro. And I was only like, I don't remember the exact like paychecks I was getting, but I remember like the number 850. I was making 850 consistently like bi-weekly. So it's like 1700 a month, bro, to work like a fucking slave. Even though like the job did teach me some good shit. The yacht club is like members only, so there was a lot of, like high value people in there, and everybody else took the job pretty seriously. It's not no like Buffalo Wild Wings, like I was working in like a legit spot. But even then I'm still just, cleaning up dishes and shit. And kind of like after work, I would go get drunk with the coworkers and shit, and we get fried. And I was just, like in a loop with that shit. But I was doing something that wasn't selling drugs for once, and I was still able to pay rent and shit. So like, I stuck with it for a bit. And not all of my managers were dickheads, but like the main ones, bro, they treated me like such shit. Same guy I am now. I was a handsome young jit. I had some tats and shit. The like even one of the female managers used to mac on me, but the other, like hostesses and shit and other servers, they all thought I was cute, and everybody talked to me. Even some of the members, like I had relationships with these people and shit. Even shit like like one of the people would come talk to us, Carson. I'd be talking to like one of the tables for a minute, and I come back and my boss is like sitting in the back corner, and he's like, "Stop fucking talking to those people. Like they don't like you. You're nothing to them." Shit like that, bro. Like I'm not even fucking joking. And it was just very degrading. Even for like my tattoos, like I didn't have like a lot of this shit. Obviously, I wasn't working in a restaurant, in a yacht club with a skull hand, but yeah, like I had a couple tattoos, and he made me start wearing a fucking shooting sleeve to work because the butterflies on my arm, he said, were scared, like would scare the members. Shit like that, bro. And finally, like COVID came around, and they had to let some people go. And even though I worked really fucking hard, bro, and like I said, I took that job seriously. I was like one of the first people he fucking clipped my ass right away. And even though he treated me like such shit, like that was like I had rent to pay and shit. I had expenses, and so I even came back to him and was like, "Look, man, I know COVID's going around and you got to do what you got to do, but like I really need this job, man. Like I'm willing to work even like I'll work 7 days a week if I have to and longer hours. Like, just, whatever I can do. Just like, please help me out here. He basically told me to go fuck myself. And yeah, from that point, I was like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna take this shoe shit seriously. I can't go back to selling drugs anymore. And now I just busted my ass for a year straight in a restaurant trying to, maybe move up to work as like a server or like event worker or some shit. And I just got fired like that. And yeah, I was like, I can't go back to doing some shit like that either. Because like even then, like I know there was no end game working in a restaurant like the Yacht Club, but yeah, it was all that I had at the time. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna take the shoe shit seriously. I didn't have any money saved up. I was still smoking and drinking and doing a lot of dumb shit. And this was the first time in my life that I, got serious with the shit. And it started off really funny. I was literally posting on my Snapchat story, like, and I can even drop some pictures of me, like doing this shit in my apartment, like that I was cleaning people's shoes and that I would like restore your shoes for like $10 a pair. And yeah, like a couple people, like supported me on it. I ended up cleaning like some of my homies' shoes. A couple people that, like used to buy weed for me and shit, and other people that trapped had like some big collections. And yeah, I was riding around picking up dirty people's shoes, and I was scrubbing them bitches, bro, for like 2 months straight. I would fucking clean shoes all night. Like, I remember, bro, my back used to hurt so bad sitting on the floor in my apartment just scrubbing shoes all night. Like, I would have to lay out flat on the ground for like 5 minutes and take breaks. But yeah, man, I was going hard. It was just a way for me to literally use soap and water and an old toothbrush, and like I was able to make, legal money. And yeah, like it sucked putting my hands in people's dirty shoes and fucking cleaning shit off of them and stuff like that. But it was a good start, and I saved up, like I want to say like 1,500 to like $2,000. I didn't have a plan, bro. All of this kind of just unfolded because of how hungry I was and how bad I wanted to change my situation and not have to clock in anymore. And I started going on Facebook, and same thing, using Snapchat too, and buying people's used shoes. I was like, yeah, like if you have, I was looking for super specific shit. Like I kind of just stuck to like retro Jordans, Yeezys, and then like any like off-white like known collabs and shit like that. And yeah, like made a couple good plays. I remember I bought somebody's collection out from Facebook for like $300 with the money I made from cleaning shoes, and I ended up making like a good bit on that. I want to say I probably like 2x my money, made like $300 profit. And then same shit, like I bought another collection from somebody I went to school with, and he was like moving or some shit, and he hooked me up crazy. I bought like some off-white shit and some like near dead stock J's, and I made like, I think I spent like $700, $800 with him, and I made like 1,000. And once I did that like a couple times, my eyes really started fucking lighting up, and bro, literally from the second I woke up to falling asleep with all of my clothes on and my keys in my pocket, bro, like I was running to Virginia, DC, Baltimore, Delaware, anywhere where there was used shoes that I thought I could make money on, bro. Like I would meet people at fucking 2, 3 in the morning, bro, in a grocery store parking lot. I was doing whatever, bro, and those were some of the fucking latest days. You gotta enjoy the process, man. That's something that I wanna branch off of the storytelling real quick. Like, life is so fucking good right now, man. Like, I could cry how blessed I am. Like, the situation I've put myself in from where I come from, bro. But I'll tell you, those days when I first got that fire lit underneath me, bro, and I was running around finding shoes to buy and shit, like, I would do anything to feel that feeling again. Like, there's nothing like it, bro. But back to the story. I'm fucking, making some good flips and shit. And now I'm like, okay, I worked at Foot Locker. I understand how the releases go a little bit. People started hitting me up, seeing that I was selling, shoes and shit. Like, yo, are you going to get these ones that come out next month? Are you going to get these 12s that drop next weekend? And I was like, damn, like, I can do something here. And then I went and created an Instagram. If you are watching this video right now and you remember this Instagram or you followed it, you're a fucking goat. Like, honestly, so goated. It was my current Instagram handle, Cxrson.resells. And that's when I started posting my used pairs on there and shit, and posting about doing restorations and whatnot. And people didn't fuck with it at all at first. Obviously, people aren't gonna fuck with you doing some new out of the box shit like that at first at all. But yeah, it's like kind of like a catalyst moment for me that I remember is the University Blue Jordan 1s. I want to say they dropped sometime in like 2021, and I still, like I made a little bit of money from flipping the used shit, but I, like was still playing with very little money. And I found out that these shoes were releasing at a Finish Line at my local mall, like first come, first serve. The retail on the grade school sizes was 130 and the men's was 170, and both the grade school and the men's, bro, literally like 350 profit, all sizes. So I felt like a kid in a candy store when I found out like that they were doing that shit first come, first serve. I called up a bunch of my homies. Only two of them like agreed to come and wait with me. But I was like, yeah, like I'll smoke you up. I'll get you breakfast and I'll pay you $100 if you come and sit in this line with me overnight. Which for me it was still super worth it if I was gonna make like 350 something profit. And we literally get there 11 p.m. and the store doesn't open till 10 a.m. and there's already two people in line. And we get in line and we wait all night and we get fried and it was fun. I networked with like the by the time they opened the doors in the morning for the mall, there was like 35 people behind us. I was networking with everybody, meeting a bunch of resellers and shit. Kind of get this was the first time I got like introduced to the culture or whatever. And once they opened the doors for the mall, everybody was super cordial and like stayed in line and shit. And we turn the corner to where the Finish Line is, and there's literally like 15 big ass black dudes standing at the entrance of the finish line. And I'm just like, bro, what the fuck? Like, all night long, I'm sitting there, like, already posting on my Instagram and shit, like, yeah, I'm gonna have sizes in these tomorrow. Like, let me know what size you need, but shit like that. And boom, there's just hella people in front of the store. And obviously, bro, like I'm fried and not waited, 13, 14 something hours I've been up at this point. I walk straight to the front of the line and I'm like, fuck that. Like these people are freshly showered and shit. Like you can, and I'm in here looking like I just went to war, bro. Like eyes red as fucking pitted. And these dudes are literally smelling like fresh cologne. I go up to the front and I'm like, man, fuck this. Like, yo, I've not been here. Like, I don't know how the fuck you guys got in the mall. Blah, blah, blah. Literally a 6'7", 320-pound black dude gets out and just, like pushes me back. He's like, fuck nah, little homie. Like, get to the back of the line. And I keep jawing and shit. And yeah, like I was pissed, bro. And somebody that I actually ended up being really good friends with that was also in that line of people that like I guess they found like a secret entrance to the mall or whatever. He kind of like put his hand on my chest and he was like, bro, just chill out. Like, I don't want to see you get fucked up. And like, he wasn't saying that in a bad way. Like, I'm going to fuck you up. He's like, there's some, bad people in this line. Like, just chill out. I ended up just huffing and puffing, bro. I walked back. I'm like fucking 20th in line now. And whole time I thought I was going to be like the third person to get in the store. Still had hope. I was like, man, maybe there's like 25 pairs and me and my boys will still, at least get something. They open the door, bro, 5 pairs, and the manager comes out and she's like, "Yep, that's it. I go home." And I literally wanted to fucking cry, bro. Like I was so pissed. And then my boys are like, "Yeah, bro, like where's the 100?" And I'm like, "Holy fuck, like I got to pay them." Boom. Now it's like I'm like fucking $400 in the hole, which was like super detrimental. I went from thinking that I was gonna, crush it and have these fire ass shoes that just came out today to now having to pay a bunch of bread and go home without fucking anything. And I remember just going home and falling right asleep, bro, tired as fuck 'cause I'd been up all night and just, mad as a bitch. And right when I woke up, I just still had that fire underneath me of when, I first started buying the used shoes where I was like, man, I know this shit wasn't going to be that easy. Like, fuck that. And I got right in my car, bro, and drove straight back to the finish line that I camped at. And I walked straight up to the manager that was working the release and, told us it was sold out or whatever. And I was like, hey, like I was here this morning. I waited like 13 something hours, hoping to get a pair. I was wondering, like, are you guys going to get any more smaller sizes or like, will you maybe get the men's in? And she literally like looked at me straight in my eyes and she's like, I don't know you. Get the fuck out of my store. And I was just like, wow, headbanger. And then at that point, I'm actually like kind of upset. I was like, I wasn't expecting, anything crazy to come from it, but like, she didn't have to be a bitch to me. And as I'm getting in my car, I get like a message on Snapchat, and some girl that I went to high school with works in there, just as like someone who stocks the shelves and shit. But she hits me and she's like, "Hey, my manager that was just super mean to you. She thinks you're really cute, and she's sorry for being mean. She just had a stressful day. Can I give her your number?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you can actually." So we start texting and shit. This is a grown ass woman, bro. She's like 32 years old, and she thought I was super cute or whatever, and she's flirting with me. Whole time, I'm trying to get these fucking pairs. Next thing you know, bro, like we're talking back and forth and shit, and I'm still, trying to make moves, still selling used shoes, still running around the stores trying to find any, of these ones that are coming out. And she got like a full shipment of the men's in like a week after we met. I think it was like 18 something pairs. She sold me the entire shipment for retail. So 170 retail times 18 in every shoe. People were begging to pay me $500 for like any size. So you do the math on that shit. I made more money like in a couple days than I had ever seen in my entire life. Not only that though, but all the people that cut me and shit in line and everybody that I met in line that day, because there was like 60 something, 70 something people in the line when everything was done. And like I said, I was talking to a lot of people. They all saw that shit, like that I had 18 fucking pairs. And everybody became, mad curious. And also, this lit a spark in my head of like, fuck, I didn't know that, these stores can even do this shit. And I literally spent the next like month to 2 months. I wasn't even making like the money slowed down a little bit when I was doing this. It had to because of what I was doing, but I was literally running to every big shoe store from my area, Annapolis, to Baltimore, to DC, to Virginia, and just like talking to the managers on a daily basis. I would go and check in. I would check and see if they got anything. I would get them lunch. I would help them source other shoes that their store wouldn't get, like crazy SBs, Yeezys, shit like that. And yeah, I built like real relationships with these people. These people texted me on their birthday. I texted them on holidays and Christmas and shit. And next thing you know, bro, in a matter of like 3 months, I changed my alias from Cxrson Resells to Trapping Sneakers. You can guess where that name comes from. I was trapping product or trapping packs, and yeah, then I was selling shoes, so I was trapping sneakers. The whole community knew me, man. I was backdooring every fucking store from DC to Virginia to Baltimore to Annapolis. All the managers showed me mad love. I helped them. I put money in their pockets. There's mad people helping me get shit. We were posting crazy pictures. We were getting pairs early. We were had this was fucking peak trapping sneakers, bro. Like we were showing up to the stores and fucking rinsing them, and everybody like a lot of resellers hated us and they were sick, because they couldn't do what I was doing. But we also got a lot of love too, and I met a lot of really really amazing people. Not just let me mention too, like the clients too. Some of the people I bought shoes off of, like bro, there's still people I talk to this day. Um, that supported me and shit. So if you're one of those people watching this, I love you. Thank you for, showing me love with that shit. So we kept running it up, and then it got to a point where I was like, fuck it, bro. Like, let's open a store. And, we made Trappin' Sneakers a storefront in Washington, D.C. And the start of it was so fucking lit. The opening day was crazy. Mad people came and bought shit and showed love. And it just gave me so much credibility, bro, going from being the worst kid in school that everybody thought was such a crash out and would never leave his hometown and was going to end up just like his dad. Like I'm owning a storefront now, and these same people are like, bro, I'm so proud of you, or Carson, I see what you're doing. Like, I know we didn't talk much before we graduated, but like, it's so amazing. Shit like that. And it's all love if you're one of those people. But, this shit comes in waves, man, and it still does to this day. So, the store, though, over time, it really became more of like a job, and it was very high stress. I had multiple employees and a security guard, and like I had to be that when I was running it. I had to be there at a certain time to open the door and leave at a certain time, and even when I wasn't there, it would stress me the fuck out. Is someone gonna steal something? Are we making sales? Is there good traffic coming in? Can you post a story? Post these shoes? People are trying to sell shit and buy shit. all types of shit. And yeah, just like over time, it became something, that it went from being something I was super passionate about to now it's like, fuck, man, this is like a job. Even though I'm making decent money, like I'm not like super pumped to be doing this every day. And in the mix of all of this, I'm still trying to make shit shake how I always have. I started a little Discord, which I don't even know where I got the inspiration to do this shit from. Just I had a lot of information from all the managers and shit, and I always knew things first. So I started the Discord where I kind of taught people how I went from cleaning shoes to opening a store, and then also I sent like alerts of restocks and shit, where to find releases, shit like that. And I like the peak of that was like 10K a month, which at the time, bro, me doing that for how low effort it was, like that was like, bro, that fucking blew my mind. Like, literally broke my cranium. Yeah, like, I was just like, holy shit, bro. Like, what you can do on the internet is crazy. Like, selling shoes was still like selling drugs, Like, if I wasn't on foot, if I wasn't making plays, posting shit, like, shit didn't move. But when I started this, little paid Discord, like, I would put the information in there and I could get it to a ton of people without having to lift a finger more than once. And that was just like the first like high leverage thing, money making wise, that kind of came to me through the store. Like I said, I'm slowly falling out of love, but now that I have a store and shit, a lot of ball players, influencers, rappers, bigger people are starting to hit me up and come to the store and shop and shit. And somebody in specific, that was, like a big factor in what is going on today is Alex Eubank. Y'all may know him. He's a fitness influencer. He has a couple million on all platforms. He had hit me up for like a promo for some Yeezys or whatever. And like, bro, I'm a trapper. And when he first hit me up, I literally was with my boy Tony, and I told him, I'm like, bro, like this fucking musclehead thinks I'm gonna give him free shoes for like a story post. I didn't really care. Like, I was good at marketing and shit. Like, you can see the old Instagram right here. I'll drop it right here, Trapping Sneakers. You can see how I posted and shit, like, and did giveaways. People fucking love that shit. But yeah, I had never done like any influencer marketing, and I was kind of like, yeah, like fucking more muscleheads gonna buy shoes because he posted. Like, it's probably not gonna be good. And my boy Tony's like, nah, bro, like, you should probably fuck with him. He's from Maryland, and he has good pull on like all social media. So I was like, man, fuck it, like whatever. Ended up getting him the shoes. He shouted me out, and we kind of stayed in touch. And then I'm still running the store. A few months later, he brings me out to LA, and I like, it was for some gym opening. I think one of Bradley Martin's gyms. I met a bunch of influencers and kind of, just got introduced deeper into like this influencer internet world, but on a fitness standpoint. And yeah, like, even like I got back, I kept doing shoes and shit and staying super focused on the store. But again, I'm just really falling out of love with it, like kind of getting more miserable day by day. And then we travel with each other a couple more times. And then Alex moved to Annapolis, like right up the street from where my apartment was. And from that point onward, we just started kicking it like a fuck ton. And I started helping him with little shit here and there, with content, like managing people, talking to people for him, deals, shit like that. And also through the Discord shit, like I told him, I made 10K off of, 15, 20,000 followers. Like, you have a couple million. I could only imagine what we would make if we did, like some fitness shit, like of course. And we did that. It didn't end up going great, but we were hustling, trying shit. I was still, that was like a new world to me. So I was figuring it out as I go. And then at this point, I'm with Alex every day. I'm not really making shit, but, like learning a fuck ton and getting to meet so many people. And I'm like, fuck it. I'm done with the store. I'm done selling shoes. Like, I'm gonna shut the store down. I still kept doing like pre-orders and shit and sourcing shoes for people on the side, and I still had like inventory that I would keep in my apartment and in my storage unit. So I was still like doing shit here and there, but really I was like, I want to tap into this influencer world. And also too, when I shut down the store, something that I just want to make apparent real quick and jump off topic, a lot of people, the same people that were like, bro, I'm so proud of you for opening the store, like the things you're doing are amazing. Those same people are like, damn, like, do you see Carson's store shut down? I guess he finally ran out of money. The reseller, same shit, used to show mad love. They're like, what the fuck happened to Trappin'? Like, where the fuck is he at? Posting stories and shit, and just on some hate and shit, bro. And that's going to happen when you pivot, but I promise you, now those people can't say a damn fucking thing. And if you're one of those people watching this, I want you to know I don't resent you at all. I actually love you, and I'm praying for you, every single one of you. So yeah, I shut down the store, and now I'm full time, like helping Alex with shit. And we're working on shit every day. And then I want to say like 6 months after me and him being super tapped in, we travel out to Puerto Rico to meet, which is my current best friend, business partner, and literally like right hand man, bro. TJR or Tyler. And yeah, that trip, me and him didn't really get to talk much at first, like the first few days. I was only out there for like 5 days, but Alex brought his ex-girlfriend and they were like fighting a ton. And the trip was kind of just bullshit, honestly. It's not Tyler's fault at all, though. Like one of the last days I was there, we were staying in like separate cribs. I had hit him and was like, yo, like, do y'all have any gas on the island? Like, I'm trying to smoke. He's like, matter of fact, bro, like, I'll come pick you up. We can smoke at my crib. And at the time, bro, Tyler's like nobody. He had like 20K, 15K followers on Instagram, and he had like he still had a bag from crypto, obviously, and he had his own crib out here, which is like fucking insane at his age. He was only 21 at the time. And yeah, we ended up smoking, and again, I hadn't really talked to him for shit, and didn't like fuck with him or really care about him. And then once we started smoking, I was like, holy fuck, like this kid's cool as a bitch. We literally smoked and talked for like 2-3 hours out back of his crib, and we ended up getting so fried that I just passed out at his crib and like slept there that night. And then the next day, he's like, "Yo, I know the trip's been kind of weak. Like tonight, regardless of what's going on with like Alex and his girl and shit, like I'm gonna take you out to we're gonna go like to the bar and shit and to the clubs and party or whatever." And I'm like, fuck yeah, bro, say less. And if you've ever visited Puerto Rico or you're Puerto Rican, you probably know what La Placita is. That's where the fuck we pulled up. And we just had the most, like, Project X ass night ever, bro. Hopefully I can drop a pic right here of how, like, sweaty we were from dancing our asses off and just getting turned and having a good ass time. Back at the crib, bro. We brought girls back. It's like 6 a.m. The sun's rising. We're smoking J's in the pool and shit. And from that point onward, I was like, bro, like, this is my dog now. Like, me and him just fucking, like, we locked in heavy that night. And I went back to Maryland after that. We stayed in touch. I traveled to Italy like a few weeks later. First time out the country. And I went with my boy Tony. And when I was in Italy, Tyler, we kept talking and shit, and he had hit me up one day and was like, yo, I really fuck with you, bro. If like, I don't want to take away from whatever you're doing with Alex, but if you want to maybe come out here when you get back and see kind of how you can fit into what I got going on, like, catch a flight and let's see what's cracking. And sure enough, like a month after I got back from Italy, I came out here with like a ticket to stay for like 10 days. And yeah, bro, from the rest from there is really history. The main thing that he brought me out here for to start was just to help him like film and shit and, help him with other like little shit. Really, you could say I started as like an assistant and I wasn't making shit, like a couple bands a month, which is like still good money, obviously, for sure. I'm not making shit compared to what I'm making now. But yeah, slowly, I got extremely inspired when I moved out here. And he also gave me a place to live and he let me drive. I didn't have a whip here either. He let me drive his shit, whatever I needed to do. And even though I was just an assistant or like a filmer, he always treated me, not like as we were equal, bro, as we were boys. And I forever loved him for that. Like, again, talking about my dickhead boss, like my boss from the yacht club taught me how to never treat somebody that I employ. And I have a handful of employees now and people that I have to direct and manage every single day. And yeah, like, the way to treat people is the right way. Obviously, in business, you need to be strict sometimes, but bro, treat people how you want to be treated, and that's gonna be how you get the best results every single fucking time. So I'm not making much. I'm just helping him with little dumb shit, like scheduling the dog sitter, having the cleaners come, helping with shit around the house, picking up shit from San Juan for him, helping him with shit with his truck, and then filming all the YouTube videos. But slowly, as I'm extremely inspired, I keep chipping away and finding new ways I can help him. I start helping him grow his alt Instagram account. I start helping him, with YouTube ideas. I start helping him with short form content. and really I just immerse myself in everything he has going on and trying to help him in any way possible. And as I'm doing this, also, again, like this was a full mindset shift for me. At this point, I'm like, bro, I moved to Puerto Rico. I left my whole family behind. I have to, make this shit shake. So at this time, I'm also working on, starting to scale courses for other people, or growth operating, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And the first person that I kind of locked in with, moving out here and shit and getting serious about it, was Daddy Wellness, or Richie. Some of y'all might know him. He just hit 1 million actually on Instagram and on TikTok. It's my fucking dog. And yeah, we scale, like, as I'm scaling shit with Tyler and doing a ton of amazing work. I'm also scaling with Richie. At the peak, we did like 50K a month with his offer, which was called Dialed University. It was like a mindset and wellness offer and fitness thing. And yeah, bro, like, I never looked back. I kept, going hard as fuck. I was working. I was waking up early as fuck. I started reading every single day. I started praying every single day. I started journaling. I started posting content and growing my own social media, which I got my Instagram to, like, I think it's at like 90K now. I never really was doing shit on TikTok. I just started posting on there, and now here I am on YouTube. But yeah, just, doing everything, bro, shaking the shit up. And yeah, now fast forward to now. My main focuses are managing Tyler. I handle all of his deal flow, so like any deals he has, streaming, gambling, crypto, brokerage, prop firm. I help him, when he's doing shit like buying whips, and then I help him a lot with his YouTube and shit too, ideation, scripting, and just managing his teams overall. I'm still scaling info products. I have 3 main clients right now, and I'm inside of that shit every day, but I don't do groundwork. I more so just manage and, make sure everything's flowing smoothly. And then the newest thing is Kill Tech, which is my clothing brand that I'm partnered with Tyler on. And I've been working on that for like almost a year now. And I haven't made $1 from it. We did 100K on the first drop, but we're about to do the second one like late April. We should do a 250,000. And yeah, Kill Tech's going to be huge, bro. And just, yeah, a lot of amazing things happening. I went from, making like 4K a month when I first got out to Puerto Rico, like, I think it was like a year and a half ago now at this point, and living with Tyler, to now I stay in my own crib that, yeah, man, it's fucking crazy, bro. This crib is, I pay like 8K a month. I used to make 8K in like 6 months. I pay 8K a month just to live here, and I'm not even here. Like, we travel and shit and go to Miami. This crib has 4 bedrooms. I used to share a 2 bedroom apartment with my dad, and for the last like year, my grandma had to live with us too. So I didn't even have a living room. Like, my dad was sleeping on the fucking couch, bro. My dad would be passed out off drugs on the couch and shit as I'm, like, coming home. All I had was just like a bedroom and a little ass bathroom. Here I am, man. Again, a fucking crazy house. I have a theater room, a fucking pool. I have a fluffy Frenchie that cost a Rolex. I own a GLC 63S out here that's worth like 90 fucking racks. And yeah, man, I don't come from shit, bro. And the crazy thing is, like, the real crazy thing, I'm listing all this materialistic shit, and that shit's cool and all, but I'm just getting started, bro. Like, I'm never gonna stop evolving. I'm really starting to catch a stride for like the first time in my life. An actual stride, well, let me not like belittle the shoe shit, but like, I'm building like real shit, and like, building something that can, I'm gonna make so much money that I'm gonna take care of my kids, and I'm gonna max my stats to the best of my ability and live a life that, like, my son is gonna be hearing stories about me and my boys, and like, he's gonna have a lot to fucking live up to, bro. And yeah, like, a huge thing I want y'all to take away from this shit is, like, it's never too late to change your situation. Most people don't figure their shit out till they're 60 years old. And here I am, I'm making good money, and I'm obviously around, some really fucking cool people, some people with huge influence. I'm not doing shit yet, bro. Like, I am just getting started, and I'm never going to stop evolving. And it's never too late for you to start evolving. If you're in a fucked up situation like I was, living with my junkie dad and my grandma in a tiny ass apartment, living bad, eating bad, smoking every night, trapping, fucking feeling depressed every single day. If you're anything, like me, or, just in a situation that you want to change, man, start today. Like, start right after you finish this video. Start reading books every day. Stop spending time fucking scrolling on your phone. Make a schedule, make a to-do list, start journaling. Yeah, bro, this is shit I've never even talked about on camera before. It's crazy. But yeah, when shit was bad, bro, with, me and my pops, and I'm sick of seeing him fucking on drugs and shit on the couch every day, and I'm trying to make something shake and make a better life for myself. I literally used to sit in Starbucks, bro, for hours and hours when I was trying to figure out that shift from like shoes into, what I'm doing now. And yeah, if you're, in a shitty situation, go to a cafe all day if you have to, bro. Like, you don't need anybody to do anything for you. Everything that you need, bro, to change your situation is right up here and right up here in your heart. It's uncomfortable, it's scary, none of it's easy. People are gonna make fun of you, you're gonna second guess yourself, your parents are gonna call you crazy. It's gonna be hard, man, but if you want to change your situation, it's inside of you, and you absolutely have the power to do so. Everybody watching this does. And yeah, man, I hope I didn't, ramble too much. I tried, like, that was obviously a lot to fucking tell y'all. This is the most vulnerable I've ever been on camera, times a million. And I'm gonna try to start doing more shit like this. I really made that a goal this year. And yeah, I tried to, there's obviously pieces of my story and shit that I left out. And if you guys have any more questions for me, please, comment them below, and I'm happy to answer them. But yeah, I've never fucking talked about any shit like this on camera before. It's scary and, a little bit nerve-wracking for sure, but I'm glad that I did it, and I really hope that, somebody that might not be in the situation that they want to be in, I hope that they can take away, even if I can inspire one or two people watching this right now, to take some steps towards bettering themselves, then like, this was 1,000,000% worth it for me to film it and chop it up and upload it. And just to run y'all back through, man, I went from a drug addict dad and a mom who was drinking a lot and bringing a lot of random dudes around and shit, to getting arrested, to selling drugs, to working at Foot Locker, to selling drugs again, living with my junkie dad now, to fucking getting fired from my restaurant job, to cleaning shoes, to starting a whole fucking business with shoes, to opening a store, to then kind of taking a huge step back, then, jumping into this new world. And now here I am, bro, just making shit shake on a daily basis. And again, like, if you're watching me right now, if you follow me right now on socials, you're so fucking early to the game, bro. I'm just now catching a stride, like I said, and I'm gonna just keep going so hard on everything I'm working on, whether that be content, the businesses, the products I'm scaling, the management, the deal flow. This is the tip of the iceberg, and you guys are gonna have no other option than to hear about me. That's just, what it is, bro. If you're showing love to this channel, if you're subbed, if you're watching the videos, if you're liking the videos, I really fucking appreciate you. This is, really early stage YouTube. This is the 4th video to get uploaded, and, a different style. I'm just trying shit for y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys, want to see anything else from me, please leave it in the comments below as well. Leave a like, leave a sub. And as always, I appreciate y'all, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next video. Peace and chicken grease.